Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of New to Weeaboo. This is episode 20 for May 6th, 2020. I'm Nemesis and I'm joined by Alcatraz. Yes. It's May, I guess. Or at least for you, it's
I
May.
guess.
Yeah.
Time is a loose concept.
Yeah, especially when you're stuck at home for long periods of time. We're once again talking about anime stuff, news stuff, not a whole lot again, except more cancellations. Thankfully, actually, Crunchyroll now has a nice little list to tell you what's been canceled, or not canceled, but postponed, I should say, and whatnot. Movies and series and whatnot, because a lot of it's been canceled because my understanding is mostly it's because of the voice acting stuff. Because they traditionally, with Japan in particular, they animated, what they do is they usually do the group voice acting. And
right.
then for them in the particular, they can't do it at home because a lot of them can't because they're in an apartment and they have thin walls and there's not a lot of space. So good luck getting that doing that without pissing off your neighbors.
Or just lots of noise interference in the recording.
That too. So yeah, it's difficult. So can't really do it at all. So everything's postponed until we can do this. Because they just started doing that. They just stopped EMS and SAL deliveries from Japan. Yeah, Japan.
And that'll delay a lot of things.
Yeah, you can still do DHX and FedEx, but those are way more expensive. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that stuff. We are here to talk about, believe it or not, 4 new anime for the spring 2020 season. We're going to try to do this more regularly. However, who knows if that's going to be able to happen, because we might get to summer 2020. Oh, we're just kind of still doing the spring stuff. Because we can't make anything new right now.
The entire summer is delayed.
Yeah, everything's delayed.
Coronavirus causes another aspect of global warming, I guess.
Oh, no. Yeah, so again, we have 4 of them. We're going to go through them one by one, as usual, and give our thoughts about them as we go. So we'll go ahead and start with, we, like before, we randomly selected them. We got a big old list, assigned each one a number, picked 4 at random, went in as fairly blind. So we're not like,
only thing we really
this
had
looks,
was
the whole
picture and a basic description.
Yeah, we were not like, oh, this looks good, we'll watch that. And that was just random. It doesn't matter. So it's like, it doesn't matter if we hate it or not. We have to watch it.
It was one of those, here's a list. Some of those are worrying. Let's hope we don't get those.
Yeah. The only thing was it has to be brand new, and it can't be a shorter one. It has to be a full 22-ish minute long episodes.
Yep.
And it can't be stuff like, for example, Ascendance of a Bookworm is still going as of the season. That could not be picked again because we did it last time, and it's this continuation.
Yep. Gotta be new.
So yeah, first one though, we'll start off with Wave Listen to Me. This anime is about Minari Koda, and it's, I guess, her journey into becoming a radio host. Even though she was a waitress at a curry restaurant, because she once basically drunkenly rambled to a radio producer named Kanetsugo Mato. Yeah, that's the gist of it. Is just she's doing radio now because she's told amateur, and the whole thing is just she's just really entertaining, and she doesn't stumble or anything, unlike us.
That's really the biggest one that got the host interest in her, is that she, this huge rant without ever stumbling once, and that never happened.
While she was drunk.
Yeah. So that's a huge thing. It was like, all right, you've got some talent here, some natural talent on that.
Also, she reminded him of a comedian.
Yeah, that's just kind of a weird one.
I suspect this series would elaborate on that down the line eventually. I suspect. I don't know though, because we only watched 3 episodes.
Yep.
Yeah. And the thing is, this is at least the establishing episode show. I guess the establishing part of the first episode show that's like her show's kind of weird. It's like this whole idea of she is doing the radio show while in weird spots. Like it has her encountering a bear in the mountains and having to fight the bear whilst reading off listener mail and answering the questions and whatnot.
It's really hard to describe. It's very
odd.
Unique.
Unique.
It's a very unique style. Just like being in the woods fighting off a bear. It wasn't actually happening, but it was like in her head.
Mm-hmm.
She was like imagining the situation.
Yeah.
and recording like she was in that
Yeah,
situation.
and that was the show.
Yeah, and that's essentially like the show.
And you got like a guy sitting there adding the sound effects and stuff that they're supposed to be there, like a bear roar and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like,
And apparently she tends to go like off plan.
yeah.
She wasn't supposed to actually fight that bear.
Yeah, she decided to.
And she decided to. Because she gets really into it.
Yeah, because one of the things as well is she gets fired from her job because keeps screwing up her job at the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
There's little bits and pieces they keep throwing out about her, like she's 26. She just got over a pretty bad breakup. She drinks a lot, apparently.
She drinks a lot, yes.
Apparently, she keeps to the point of she keeps being drunk and passing out in a neighbor's place.
Which she thought she was getting drunk and neatly getting back to her own apartment, but it turns out, nope.
It was her neighbor, carries her up the stairs, puts her in her apartment, and just leaves.
Found out
one time
accidentally
she finally wakes up during it, and she assumes she's being assaulted. Which, not a bad assumption to make when some guy you don't really know is suddenly hovering over you. She had some moves, though, that's for sure.
Yes, she did.
There's a lot of the characters are kind of interesting. She gets a roommate eventually because she loses her old apartment, and she gets to live with the roommate.
Part of losing her job, she also lost her apartment, I guess.
Because of the lack of money, because apparently her ex took a bunch of her savings when they broke up.
Oh, yeah, there was that part too.
Yeah, she was like someone who works at the radio station. She winds up rooming with them and whatnot. I wish I remember the name of. Oh, and she had a coworker at the restaurant that apparently kind of likes her.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Nakahara. There's also stuff like she makes up random weird stories. Like she made up a story about the her boss at the restaurant, learning some soup making or something from some sensei and everything.
Oh yeah, I think that ties into the scenarios that she does for the radio. So I think that's they haven't explicitly tied those in together, but it seems pretty. Yeah, that seems like that's where it's supposed to be. Like she's really good at coming up with stories and really getting into them
on the fly.
Yeah, and then never stumbles.
Yeah, it just keeps going. It's like, wow, that's impressive.
Wow. Yeah.
And apparently the radio producer Mato was apparently used to be in TV, but he moved over to radio for some reason or another. And yeah, it's a small radio station. She's on it really early in the morning as well. It's 3:30, I think, in the morning. Yeah. It's just like, why? No one's gonna be listening to me. And the whole reason and also the whole thing was there was the scenario. She heard her voice on the radio and went, oh no, and rushed down the radio station. And then they just put her on the radio again.
Yep, and then they're just like, okay, go sit down, start talking again.
Yeah. So you got, that was the thing. And then it turns out she may have made a contract with him to basically say he could use that recording, but apparently he might have been bluffing. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it was a bluff.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a bunch of again, I like these characters a lot. I'm really liking, and I also kind of like the art style. It's very different from, I guess, the usual stuff. It's not the Moe art style.
No, it isn't.
There's another thing I noticed was there's actual real brands off in the background. I saw a Coca-Cola machine, for instance. I was like, oh. It said Coca-Cola. It wasn't one of those weird bootleg things you see in anime all the time.
I might be getting it mixed up with another one that we watched. I could have sworn I may have seen some other bootleg ones or stuff that was very close.
Yeah, that happens a lot, but this one actually has the real branding in it, which is interesting. It's like, wow, they actually paid the money to be able to use the real brands, I guess.
Yeah.
I also do like the ED. The ED is really good. The ending bit.
Right.
I think that's really good.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Like, it's different.
It's different.
It is not what I was expecting. It's intense.
Yeah, it's also very dialogue heavy.
It is very dialogue heavy, but it is very intense. There was, I think most of the time, I was sort of like in a state of amused shock.
Yeah.
At just the intensity and off-the-wallness of this character.
Yeah, her in particular.
That's who it's all based around. My biggest worry is that it'll start to be too much.
Oh,
If
yeah.
it just constant intenseness, it'll just be like, oh geez.
Okay, I'm kind of annoyed by this
It's
now.
like it's starting to get a bit much, and that's my worry is that watching it continuously, that's the way it would end up being.
Mm,
3 episodes in, it's still fine, but
I don't know.
yeah, it's definitely enjoyable, and I'm definitely curious to see how things go. There was this one scene.
Mm-hmm.
There's a character with a picture, and I ended up drawing, I think, some symbols on the floor, and there was like blood dripping as well, and I don't know what that was.
Oh, yeah, the neighbor or something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
And
I
it was
remember.
like
I remember that. I thought that was weird. I'm not sure what that's about.
it's not been connected to anything else yet.
And there's some
but
other
it's
woman
like,
who hasn't really done anything yet, but she was there, and it's like, what's going on here?
yeah, there's something else going on, and I don't know what.
Well, that
So
would
I'm a
be.
little curious to see where what
What
is
the heck that's
going on
about?
there.
What's going on?
Yeah, what is this? This seems kind of out of place for anything else you are setting up, but
Who knows?
I don't know.
We'll find out. I'm gonna summon a radio demon or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Oh.
but it was a neighbor who wasn't part of the radio, so
I don't know. But there was one thing that kind of bugged me a lot, which is on the 3rd episode. It opened or not open, but there's a very early in the 3rd episode. There was a weird thing about a predatory gay man stereotype thing. Unfortunately, the restaurant owner. It's because Koda
Yep.
supposed to tells
Rather
Nakahara that
handsy.
he's gay and that's why he was, and then he's like, that's why he was touching my butt. And it's like, yeah, it kind of comes across as the predatory gay man thing, which is a little, I'm not sure about
it's a little
that.
problematic there.
Especially, and then I realized in the OP, you see it, that he is actually touching Nakahara's butt. In the OP opening, like at the very end of it. It's like, I'm a little worried about this.
Yeah.
That's one thing that's really off-putting, so I'm not sure if that's going to be a problem, if this is just one little blip, or if this is going to be a constant problem throughout the series. I have no idea. And that's one thing that's really kind of getting me concerned, because otherwise I really enjoyed it. And that just kind of, don't like that.
Yeah, that's definitely one to keep an eye on and go, watch to see what they do with that.
Yeah, so at this point,
if they do anything with that.
I'm interested, but that worries me right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, other than that, though, it's actually I largely like it a lot. And it's not my usual thing, but I do like it.
I think it's fairly interesting.
Mm-hmm.
See where it goes.
And
see if it continues to hold the interest.
Yeah, those characters just really, really. It's like those good things. Those characters are really all good, interesting, and good. Because otherwise, that thing just nope. Because it's just entirely character based. This needs those characters to be like that.
That is one thing that I have noticed out of a lot of these. Like, well, half of these tend to be fairly lore driven. Of the 4 that we're going through, this and one of the other ones are very much character driven.
Oh, yeah.
This one does not seem to have a lot of lore or world. It's all on
just
the
a bunch of people at a radio station.
Yeah,
you establish much more than that.
Nope. Although the weird thing with the neighbor and the
that's something.
that I don't that might be something, but I don't know. It hasn't been explained in the first 3 episodes.
Boy, that would be crazy. Halfway through the anime genre change.
Oh jeez.
So far, I'm interested in it. But yeah,
Yep.
Go ahead and move on though. I guess to Appare-Ranman. I think Ranman's Ranman. I'm not sure.
Ranman.
I'm going to say it's Ranman.
Appare.
I'm going to go with that, just because that's usually how that sort of thing translates in my experience.
Yeah, Appare-Ranman.
It's about a race across America from LA to New York. And yeah.
So basically the Gumball Rally.
Yeah, Gumball Rally, Cannonball Run, except backwards.
Backwards. What's behind you makes no difference.
Yeah.
That's a classic.
Yeah, it seems to take place early 20th century time frame, somewhere in that time. Definitely cars are still fairly new. Paved roads aren't really so much of a thing yet, so on and so forth. But yeah, you got, and that's the thing, it opens up, it does the in media res opening, because it opens with the beginning of the race, and then let's go back
Now we
a bit.
step back. How did we get to this point?
Yeah, because you got like Sorano Appare, who's like a Japanese man who's like an inventor. He's very eccentric. His family doesn't like him because, of course, he's, why don't you stop wasting why don't you stop wasting your time and do some actual work and all that sort of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that doesn't help that Appare is also very I don't want to say standoffish, but definitely distant from other people.
There's some things to talk about on Appare.
Yeah, Appare there. And there's also Kasame, who's Kosumi, I think. Yeah, Kosumi. Yeah, Kosumi is someone who was charged with watching out for him because, well, like a local guy, keep an eye on. Local bigwig's pretty upset with Reese's recent shenanigans, and then they wind up on a boat in the middle of the Pacific Ocean because of shenanigans.
Shenanigans ensued. I'm gonna sail away. No, come back, and then accidentally pulling the lever and launching them into the ocean.
Yep. And then they get rescued by a massive steamboat and get all the way to the U.S.
Yay!
Thankfully, everyone in L.A. seems to speak Japanese, so that's a good thing.
Everyone speaks Japanese.
Yep. It
doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter if the Japanese speak Japanese, the Americans speak Japanese.
Everyone
speaks Japanese. Or the Europeans that show up.
Yep. Everyone speaks Japanese. It's just there is no language barrier somehow.
There none.
Just don't worry about it. It's one of those things. Just don't worry about it.
Just don't think about it.
Yeah. There was one thing I did notice. The ships, they had the wrong U.S. flag. They had the 50-star flag, which in the early 20th century, in the early 20th century, there wouldn't have been a 50-star flag.
Oh, yeah, there wouldn't have been 50 yet.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, they had most of them by that point. If they're already settling.
But Alaska
and
Hawaii were not U.S. states yet.
Yeah.
Oops.
It's weird. Everyone speaks Japanese. Why not throw other historical inaccuracies?
The whole thing, that's the whole thing. Is they get there and it's like, okay, they're stranded, and they got to figure out how to get back to Japan. And well, it's figured the best way is to win the prize money from this race, so they can charter a ship back to Japan.
Yep.
Simple.
Well, only one of them really wants to go back.
Yeah, one of them, but
Appare doesn't really care.
Not that much.
He's got his own goals.
Yeah, he's reaching for the stars or the moon, I guess.
To the moon.
To the moon.
Yes.
Yeah, inspired by Jules Verne.
Yep. Western Technical Manual? No.
Yeah, and they meet a whole bunch of people like Hototo, who's a Native American. That right there, I'm going to get back to him in a little bit.
About it.
Yeah, I'm going to get back to him in a little bit. Okay, Jing Jialin, who's a Chinese girl who wants to be a racer, but of course she's a woman, so you can't race. That's a man's thing.
Yep.
So, and then Al Leon and Sophia, and they're from Europe and whatnot. They're here to race as well. He's like from the B&W company who's sponsoring this race and stuff, and so on and so forth. There was some other guy. There's a big wig. I can't remember his name now, but some
guy
dude
with the pistols.
Yeah, the guy with the pistols and the booze. Yeah, I can't remember, but I don't remember who he is. But he
doesn't really care.
Yeah. So yeah, it's this sort of that sort of thing. It's a very interesting aesthetic in some ways. It almost feels like Wild West meets Mad Max. If you look at those car designs.
Yeah. That's one of the really things I wanted to point on is the design.
Oh yeah,
is very different. It's also one of those. It reminds me of those memes about games that let you fully customize your player character and then put them into the cutscenes. Everyone, you can immediately tell in this show who's important.
Yep.
Because everyone looks normal, and then you get one person who's just completely extravagant and colorful. It's also like the one internet meme with Team Rocket.
Yeah.
You go 5 guys in suits, and the only difference is different color tie, and then one guy who's a floating wizard. And it's just, yep. That's basically what's going on with all the main characters in this. But Appare's design is very different.
I'm going to be honest, I don't really like his design that much.
It's a little, more than it's always a bit odd, and I'm not a big fan.
Versus Kosumi, who's very, very conservative Japanese style dress.
Yeah, and that's the one exception to the main characters having extravagant clothes is him.
Oh, yeah,
He has normal
Sophie has a
dress.
bright yellow fancy dress, and Leon is like, yeah, he's got a nice little suit there because he's a rich boy, because of course he is.
Yep.
Now Hototo, he's Native American. He's got that I guess somewhat stereotypical Native American look. He's supposed to be from the
Yep.
Northeast U.S. somewhere in that because his whole story is when white men came along and ruined his stuff because that's what they do.
That's what they do.
Especially Native Americans.
Got that part right.
Yeah, it's just I'm a little worried because I'm not sure how much research they did because I'm a
Yeah.
little worried because particularly Jing there, her outfit is somewhat loosely based on a Chinese dress and except heavily modified so it becomes a crop top.
They seem to be playing fast and loose with design.
Well, the thing is, I'm a little worried what's going to happen here is they're going to do the thing of let's really play up the stereotypes to just show the viewers where they're from thing. And I'm like, I don't think it's necessarily going to be from malice, but definitely going to be one of those, you could have done that better.
Could have done that better.
Because she's definitely Chinese. I mean, I don't say it outright, but between the name and the outfit, she's supposed to be Chinese.
Yeah, that is a worry that they're going to go over the top on stereotypes.
Yeah, and we haven't even seen all the characters yet, obviously. I mean, we've seen several of them in the OP in that opening scene, but they haven't shown up yet in any way. So, yeah, that's the thing. As of right now, they haven't started the race. Their Appare is going to be modifying the boat into a car.
We know that because of the first episode, they were racing the boat.
Yeah, apparently Hototo is going to be on team with them and whatnot. Jing there, yeah, she's obviously going to be in the race. We know that. As of right now, she's not allowed to meet her because they snuck under the track because we want to look at the cars, and she's out there racing when she's not supposed to be. And that's how they meet.
Yep, that's how they meet.
Yeah, and then they wind up getting, because Al Leon there rents all the warehouses on the dock, and they kick him out, and then they basically make a have a deal with him. A deal.
Yeah, they have
if we win, we
make
get
a
to
deal.
stay, and if you win, you get to, what was it? You get to get the
take
swords. Get the swords. That's right.
Swords.
And they sweeten the deal because frickin' Appare made a Segway.
Yep, that's a wind-up segue.
Yeah, and then that became the car and the Segway were also, because he saw it. So they upped the ante a little bit. And that's the good thing for them. They didn't specify how you had to reach, go to the tree, go from the tree and back. They just said you have to touch the tree. Didn't say the car had to make it to the tree.
Yeah, Ali let Appare set the rules.
Yep. And so he won the car. But yeah, and then he gives away the Segway anyway. And it's like, Al's like, nah, I won't take it. And Sophie's like, I'll take it.
That was great. I love that. I'll
And then
take
she's
it.
Yeah.
So,
Huh?
Appare. Not just his design, but his
Yeah.
character.
Yeah, as a character.
His character. I hesitate to say it because I don't have experience or a huge amount of knowledge. Can you guess what I'm thinking?
I'm guessing a spectrum is involved.
That's what I'm thinking as well, because he tends to show a lot of the standard bits about that. Basically, no concept of social cues or tact or things like that.
Hyperfixation,
but also exceedingly intelligent, like scary intelligent, but all the social aspects.
He just doesn't understand a lot of this stuff.
Not just not understanding, but
not caring.
Doesn't care. It's not a thing.
It's not important.
It's not important.
Yep.
So I'm wondering if that's what they're going for, is to try and represent an autistic character.
Yeah. Hopefully they could handle that.
Hopefully they do it right.
Yeah.
One thing I'm seeing, like you said with the stereotypes, they do seem to be bringing up a lot of certain negative things in order to show that they are negative.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, that can be a good thing depending on how you do it.
Because one of the things I know, right, but Hototo is also he's looking for a man with a particular tattoo on his neck because apparently he was involved and he was the one who killed his dad. Yeah. And whatnot, and back in his village, I guess. And he's traveled this far because he's hunting him down. Apparently, the blonde guy with the guns and everything, he seems to know something, whatever it is. That's my big worry there is Hototo's kind of a little stereotypically dressed in some way, although a little, I guess, exaggerated. So that's my big worry is how it's like. I'm not sure how an anime is going to handle a Native American character without, and that's one thing for me is a little concerning. And also, and it's Chinese character because Japan and China, their relationship through history's not always been great, shall we say?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure about that one. So that's my biggest concern is, I guess, cultural sensitivity on their part. How are they going to handle that?
Yeah. I'm definitely interested to see where they go with it, but there are all those like, I'll have to see how they handle this.
Yeah, and the other thing was there was this little stinger during the credits at the very end of the third episode. It's like it looks like someone's trying to sabotage the race entirely. Some big corporate guy is like he doesn't want a new era to show up.
Yeah,
so that's a new thing. It's like it looks like someone's just trying to kill the car. Interesting. Yeah, it's I think for me the cultural sensitivity and honestly the Appare design is just ridiculous. It's so hard to get over that. That's one thing I just don't like.
It's a bit too much.
I think everything else, even the more eccentric, crazy designs out there, kind of work. It's just Appare's is just weird.
Yep.
Although I will say Jing's a little we just had to show midriff, didn't we? It's like, wow, you got away with that in the early 20th century. I'm shocked. Then again, stylization, you're allowed to, as we've seen, they kind of ignore some historical stuff because inconvenient.
Inconvenience.
Oh, another Kosumi. Apparently we see something. He has some sort of trauma. He tries to defend Hotoko from some guys in the alleyway.
Right.
And something stopped him. He has some sort of PTSD or something because something messed with him and he just froze.
Yep, and it shows he was saying that he can't draw his sword anymore.
Yeah, something's up.
He can't draw the katana.
Something's up.
Although in the OP we see him do it, so I'm assuming that he'll start to resolve that.
I'm guessing so as well.
They put it on the table. It's most likely going to come up later and be dealt with in some way or another.
Yeah, but anyway, other than those issues, I think it's a very strong setup, and mostly the aesthetics are pretty interesting looking. It's just a couple missteps here and there, and just my concerns about some things. So I guess we'll go ahead and move on to the third one.
Yes, the third one.
Diary of Our Days at the Breakwater. This is a hobby anime, for sure.
It is.
It starts with Hina Tsurugi, and she just recently moved to the countryside. She just started high school, and then she meets Kuroa, a third year. She sees her fishing, and she gets blackmailed into joining the Breakwater Club. And that's it, basically. That's the gist of it. She joins the Breakwater Club, who they go fishing.
They go fishing at the Breakwater, hence the name.
That's what they do. I think it's Kuroa. Yeah, that's what sounds right, if I recall correctly. But yeah, there's a whole thing about there that's like she doesn't like sea creatures for the most part. They're all gross and stuff.
She's a city girl.
Yep.
She doesn't like things like that.
Yeah,
that's actually something that's
basically blackmailed because of what was it? Oh, she got covered. The octopus landed on her, and Kuroa would only remove it if she signed the paper to join the club.
Yep.
Rude.
Oh
yeah, there was a tentacle joke there.
Yeah, that was a worry. It's like, what are you? Don't. They haven't after that.
No,
it hasn't. So it's like,
but
okay, but that was a. Don't do this.
Yeah. Hina likes handicrafts. That's her whole thing. She was going to join the handicraft club.
She was going to join the handicraft club, and that's what kind of made her jump towards at first.
Yeah.
Because after the fishing thing's like, oh, your fishing line is tangled. I can fix it.
Yeah, she fixes it, and it's like, and Kuroa says like,
that's useful.
And then she winds up meeting Natsumi Hodaka, who's someone she apparently knew, childhood friend, of course. They apparently, because Hina used to come out here once, like in summers and whatnot, occasionally when she was younger. And then you got Oh no. Yes, she's big and quiet. That's her thing. She's just big and quiet, and she likes fishing. Yeah, this is so far. It just seems basically a hobby anime with just one person learning to enjoy fishing. That seems to be it. Not really much more to it than that. Other than it's just a literal fish out of water story.
Yep, fish out of water. it kind of fits in with our unintentional theme of anime that we've been watching.
Yeah.
A bunch of girls hanging out.
Yeah.
But honestly, I do really like it.
Yeah.
It's nice and relaxing and fairly chill. It kind of brings up some. It reminds me in some ways of
Yuru Camp.
Yuru Camp. Yeah, that's sort of how it kind of feels, which is
Yeah.
a good thing. I don't think it's quite to the same level,
Yeah.
but yeah.
So we got weird stuff like also like Natsumi is a very excitable type of character.
Yes, she is. I think she's like the youngest too. Well,
She and Hina
she's a
are both
first year.
first years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crow is very laid back.
Holy
to the point
crap,
of lazy, outright lazy.
She is, super chill about everything.
Yeah, we also see Ono. She's quiet and stuff, but she also sometimes see Ono fretting a little bit over like when something starts going wrong. She starts sitting there fretting a little bit, like oh no. See, exactly. Oh no.
Yep.
Yeah, and so we got that, and then of course we find out, like for example, Kuro tricks the 2 first years into untangling a bunch of fishing line, saying, "Oh, it's part of becoming part of the club," and then Ono said, "You just tricked them, didn't you? She did that to me last year." And then it turns out Ono can be scary.
Apparently, yes, and she's also very intelligent.
Yes,
but she doesn't explain things in a way that's easy for new people to understand.
And we see Hina just kind of checking out mentally.
Just, nope.
Oh yeah, where the
brain just kind of floats back.
Hina trying to cast the line, but kept somehow hitting Natsumi.
That was great. And then they drew it on Natsumi on a buoy and threw the buoy out there, and it worked.
Yep. Natsumi's just so annoyed. Why do you keep doing this? I'm not trying to. Or
hiding behind the statue.
Yep. Riding in the cart.
Oh, riding in the. That was
Oh no! Yeah, catching the flatfish.
Catching the flashfish.
The flathead. Yeah.
Yeah, the flathead.
Yeah, catching that. You gotta kill it. Huh?
Oh, that led to one of my favorite scenes. I had to take a screen cap of it simply because if you were to see the screen cap out of context, you have no idea what this anime is about.
Oh yeah.
It's just gives her the knife. Kill it. What? Just there holding the knife. It's great.
And you eat what you catch.
Yep.
You catch, you eat it. That's what it was.
You keep what you kill.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You got to do it eventually. It's like the whole thing. We can't keep doing stuff for you. You have to learn how to do it yourself eventually.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the thing is she is easily she doesn't have a good temperament with this sort of thing. She's fainted a couple times.
Yeah.
Including very impressively fainting standing up.
Yep, leaned over, just kind of freezes. Faints and freezes.
That's actually kind of impressive.
Yes.
Yeah. It's pretty fun. The characters seem pretty interesting. It's just, it's fun, but for my little worry is that it kind of feels a little like a generic hobby anime for me at this point, and I'm a little worried about that. It's just kind of like I remember Cinderella 9. We had pretty good feeling about that by the end. We're like, eh.
Yeah. Like,
so that's my big worry. Is I'm getting that feeling again.
Yeah, I do really enjoy it where it is right now.
Yeah. But I'm kind of like how you were worried about that the first one with a Wave that you were going to get irritated and start to dislike it, but because of the main character, I'm worried I'm just going to get bored and start to dislike it.
Yeah, it's like opposite ends of that spectrum, where with Wave it's just so intense all the time, it might just start being too much.
Mm-hmm.
This one where it just runs out of interesting things,
or just it's just exactly the same as all these other ones I've watched.
Yeah, it's just a repeat of what we already know. So far it isn't, but
yeah,
we'll see where it goes.
And also it's like one of those things, it's one of those things like, how could fishing be interesting? But then again, I've watched things that are like, this should not be good, but yet here it is.
Yeah.
How could horse racing be good? Oh, that's how.
Oh. That's Unamasumi?
Yep, Unamasumi.
Right? Yeah.
Watch Unamasumi.
Yep. Who knows? Maybe at the end of this you'll want to go and get a fishing pole.
I doubt it.
go down to Ace or whoever and get some
I
fishing.
doubt it. I don't like fish that much, so it would be a waste for me.
Just do catch and release.
Stab a hole in their mouth and then release them. That's a great idea.
I don't think fish actually have the capability of feeling pain.
I don't know.
I think
I'm not going to test that.
I think that's literally one of the things is at least some of them are. I don't know. I'd have to double check that, but yeah.
Well, there was one bit where not to be trolled, with the picture of that shark. This is a flathead fish.
This is where we're going to fish. This is what we're going to catch.
Of course, the wharf cockroaches or whatever.
Yep.
No! Yep. Every single time.
Every single time crawls up on her.
No!
She can't stand it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be exactly thrilled with it either. To be honest.
Not quite to that extent, but it's
not that extent, but it's like,
you
get off.
You shake it off and then go back to what you're doing.
Yep. Yeah, the thing is, this one there's not a whole much to talk about because of its nature. It's a hobby anime, so it's
a slice of life hobby anime.
Yeah,
4 characters hanging out at a school club.
Yep, seen this setup a lot.
It's a very common setup.
Yeah, it's got its fun little goofy moments and again, that's my big worry because it might just become very generic.
Yep. Hopefully it doesn't though.
Hopefully it doesn't. We won't know for a while.
Yep.
Yeah, so I guess we'll go ahead and move on to the final one, which is Tower of God, which I was actually wondering, initially, is this actually an anime? And I had to double check and research and everything. Yeah, it is an anime. It's based off a Korean manga, which is, a manhwa. Sorry, manhwa, which is, manga, basically, but Korean. Yep. It's based on that, what then became, which was, it was released on it was a web one. It was released on Webtoon, which was a Korean thing. It's this thing where it's like, there's a tower, and people can get selected to climb it, and if they get to the top, after many, many challenges, they get granted I guess what they want, whatever it is.
Yeah, their desire.
Yeah, their desire, their wish, whatever. It's just, that's the thing. But of course, it's incredibly difficult to the top, and many people die on the way.
Yep.
And that's kind of the whole setup of it. And one thing that very much popped out for me very quickly was it's got very distinct line work for the style, the art style and everything. It's very distinct what the line work is. It's very kind of got this weird messy line work toward it, which is kind of interesting stylistically. Kind of reminds me of when Disney used to kind of do that pencil line work, and there's some of their older movies where it's like you can still kind of see the sketch lines even though it's fully animated.
Yeah,
it's very cool looking. I think gives a very different look. The other reason I was kind of worried about this anime because it's one of the Crunchyroll originals, and I know some of those are not anime, so it's like
yeah.
And it's also based on Korean properties. It's made by a Japanese animation studio and everything. It's Japanese voice acting, all that stuff. Okay, so it is anime.
So cool. It is anime.
I was worried. He was like, "Oh, did we screw up? Did I screw up?"
Which is why we check them. We try to check those before we put them in the list to be selected.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. I was sitting there like, you saw me fretting about that.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's about Bam. Yeah, his name's Bam.
Is it Bam or Bomb?
Bomb, Bam, whatever. Bomb. I'm gonna go with Bomb. It's called Bomb.
Boom.
And he's chasing after a girl who went up the tower called Rochelle. Not Rachel, even though that's what it looked like. It's spelled like it's Rochelle.
Spelled Rachel, but it's Rochelle.
Yeah, Rochelle. I think it's Rochelle. It's one of those things that's like, yeah, translation weirdness. But yeah, he's chasing after her because she went up there because she wants to go to the top of the tower because apparently that's where you can see stars. Because apparently in this world, the sky isn't really a thing.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's different. Wasn't expecting that. Anyway, he's there, and apparently he's an irregular, which means he wasn't chosen. He somehow got his way into there, even though you're supposed to be chosen. So that's a thing in of itself. And he meets a bunch of people and whatnot, and we kind of seeing lots of bits and pieces about all those other characters and the Tower of God itself and whatnot, what's going on with all of that. So there's a lot going on here, and apparently just barely scratching the surface of it, because it looks like it might be going on for a while. I don't know.
Yes. This is very different than the rest of them.
Oh, yes.
Very, very different. This has one thing going for it that really catches my interest that may have noticed with some of the other things I've said in the earlier ones, it has lore. It
Oh,
has
yeah.
world building. It is very much centered around its world and its lore more than its
Hmm.
characters. And I guess I'm kind of a sucker for world building,
Yeah.
turns out. I really like the idea of what's going on in this world. I want to see what this world is.
Hmm.
And this has that in spades right now. There's so much potential in this lore, in this world that they're building, that it's definitely caught my interest. I want to see what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, because one of the things is like just to even enter the tower, he has to pass a test first. And it's the thing is go in there with that giant iron eel or whatever and break that sphere and survive.
And survive.
Yeah, he gets a little bit of help, but he manages to do it because, through a way that I guess wasn't exactly expected, which is he just lets himself get swallowed by the eel so he could cut it up from the inside. And then he goes and uses this weapon, which is a very special weapon.
Apparently it's a very special weapon.
Black March.
March.
Yeah, and he's able to stab the sphere and destroy it and win and move into the actual tower and do stuff there. But first he meets on Hedon, who's this rabbity thing.
Yes.
He's apparently the caretaker of the tower.
Yeah.
And he's the one who's
definitely important, but
yeah, he's the one who chooses. He's supposed to choose people to show up at the tower, but he didn't choose Mom there.
no, but did it make sure that he passes the test first?
Yeah. He gave him an extra hard test because he's an irregular, which is
Yes.
apparently you're not supposed to be able to get in there if you're not. Yeah. So that's the thing.
So the irregulars tend to be
Extra
more
powerful or something. I guess if it sounds like. He also meets Yuri, who's a princess of Jihad or something, which we find out stuff about that later too.
Yeah, they're involved in the tower as well.
Yeah, and there's a lot about that whole princess thing, which we find out a little bit more about in the third episode or so. But also she's very tall, noticeably taller than everyone else. Jeez. Yeah, so there's and she's got a little navigator guy with him, and she's the one who loaned him the weapon because it never worked for her. Turns out because the weapon prefers men.
Yeah.
And these Black March weapons are only given to princesses of Jihad or something like that. So the fact he has one is kind of weird. And also noticing a little disconcerting, which seems a lot of girls seem to have taken interest in Bomb here. It's
That is, there's a couple things here and there that it's I'm not certain what you're doing. There's a lot of really cool things, but there's also some underlying...
Don't like that.
That could go wrong.
Yeah, I mean, he goes in that he gets in the tower into the trial. What is the trial? It's a freaking battle royale.
Yep. The first thing he has to do is a battle royale.
There are 400 characters in the map. You had to whittle it down to 200 before the time expires. Good luck.
Yep.
Oh, it's a battle royale.
Great. Where's the frying pan?
I need vehicles. That one there. I need materials to craft.
Oh, jeez. No.
Is this where the concert is?
Moving on, some other things that were interesting. The weapon.
Yes.
Has a symbol on it.
Yes. 3 red circles.
Yes, and it has now shown up again
on other weapons.
Someone else's weapon.
Yep.
So this is interesting. There's a connection there.
Yeah. Lizard girl.
Yes, the lizard girl. The sword that turns into a whip. Acts like a whip, too. Very interesting.
And the other thing was we find out about Bomb's past is he was in some weird pit trying to get out, and then Rochelle finds him and teaches him a lot of things, and he has amnesia, he doesn't remember anything beyond a certain point. There's stuff like that. He winds up meeting a couple of people in the Battle Royale segment, I guess.
Yeah.
Like Kun Agero Agnes, who he's got a bag with a weapon in it, but he also seems to be hiding something else in the bag and some other stuff. There's something about him that's
something about
off.
The bag too.
Yeah, and he also meets a Rock Wraith Racer.
The gator.
Yeah.
Gator.
Yeah, gator. Yeah. This giant lizard man.
Giant lizard man. Who just wants to fight.
He just wants to hunt and
I
fight.
want to find the strongest person and fight them.
Hunt. Yep.
That's it.
He calls Bomb and Agero turtles.
Turtles, black turtle and blue turtle, because of their hair.
Those three wind up having, because of the battle royale. After that's all done, you have to team up with two other people, and that's the whole thing. If you don't team up, you lose.
Yep.
That sort of thing. And he kind of they trick Rock into teaming
Being
up with him,
team.
and then he seems to have kind of warmed up to him a little bit. After that. Yeah, that's the whole thing, and then you got Lero Rowe, who's an administrator, I guess, a ranker they call it, someone who climbed to the top of the tower successfully. It's like, oh, he gets to be in charge of stuff.
Yep.
And
there's this thing, a few of those at different levels.
Yeah, and they revealed Shinsu, which is the source of the tower's power. It's like this water thing. It was like push everyone back except for Bomb, which like
just kind of stood there.
Yeah, he just was able to stand there, and he's just like, it didn't push me back. I'm sorry. I'll go with them.
I'll go on.
No. You passed. Just
that means you passed. Just
no, which is weird. There's like this wall of water, and like some people just walk through it, and others like have to shove themselves through it if they can. And it's like
if they can.
That's interesting. I wonder what that's all about. I mean,
yeah, that's part of the world building thing.
Yep. Yeah.
One of the things that I'm a little worried about. Some of the execution on the story.
Yes.
Surrounding Bomb. Is it starts kind of poking towards a bit of a Deus Ex. He seems to be, I guess,
the one.
Yeah, it's sort of like, he just like the first test with the eel. He just walks in and immediately knows the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So he just seems to know what to do when. It also shows that he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what's going on. So it seems like a weird contradiction.
And with the amnesia, it's like,
yeah.
I'll compare that with the amnesia. It's like, I see he's some sort of weird chosen one or something.
Yeah, and I'm a little worried, especially like you mentioned, the girls kind of seem to like him.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, are you going to pull this? Like, he's just super special, all powerful. All the women just want to be around him.
Well, its genre is shonen. So it's like, yeah, probably he's going to wind up being that because that's part of shonen. Is just one character is particularly better than everyone else for reasons.
Like, he's a Mary Sue.
Don't do this.
That's what makes Mary Sue's bad, is because they do stuff like this. Author inserts become Mary Sue's because this is the bad thing.
Yeah.
Don't do the bad thing. So I'm worried how far they end up taking that. It might, unfortunately, my worry is that it'll start to get to the point where it's just so unbelievable it ruins the other cool parts.
Oh, yeah. Okay. See where you're coming from there.
Because the world building has absolutely nothing to do with the main character. How powerful they are. You can still build a great world without that, but I'm just worried that that'll start getting to the point where I can't ignore it.
Yeah, one of the things is, like, apparently with Aguero there, that he was told by, Baum was told by Lero, don't trust him, or something like that. It's like, that's interesting. But then we're finding out, like, there's a whole thing going on with, like, his half-sister became a princess, and then he got exiled or something because of all this weirdness.
There's something about that. He's got some history. He was
used, and there's implications that they're half-sisters, and there may have been some sort of incestuous thing going on there. Or there's rumors. Any which way, he was cast aside and he got betrayed and all this crap.
Yeah.
So he has trust issues and whatnot.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that has something to do with what's in his bag.
Yeah, I remember that was one thing. He just calmly walked through that wall of Shinsu, and then the bag catches for a second. It's like,
interesting.
That's different.
But yeah, his bag is special, considering the amount of chocolate bars he pulled out of it.
Yeah, and we're seeing there's other teams going on. There's that one weird team with like there's this two guys, the lizard girl and that one guy with the swords who keep fighting with each other. Then there's that guy in the tracksuit who just kind of hangs out with them, and they just tolerate him. I think he only is there because they needed a third person.
Yeah, they just happened to be there. And they couldn't find anyone else.
They just ignore him all the time.
The next test that they did, he knew what to do. He does have some level of intelligence.
Yeah.
So he's not completely useless.
Yeah, it's just weird that it's completely ignore him like he doesn't exist, basically.
It's
unless
great.
they absolutely have to acknowledge his existence. Which is, it's interesting. So there's a whole bunch of teams there, and I'm seeing some of them. The thing is, weirdly, like Yuri there, she just kind of, after that first episode, she's just kind of gone. Except for a
Yeah.
brief scene or there too,
She's obviously trying to catch up.
or something. Because she's
Because they,
apparently not supposed to compete in this thing because she's a Prince of Jihad.
yeah, and they're not supposed to have anything to do with it or something like that. But she's
Yeah.
going to do it anyway because she wants her sword back.
And bomb. I mean.
That too.
Oh, and we see these weird people who are like coming up in the tower after them, and like 3 of them just straight up murdered everyone else in the battle royale test.
Yeah.
Just 3 of them survived. It's like,
And I think there may be implication that one of them might be Rochelle.
yeah, that's the implication, which is like, how did she get behind him?
Bomb entered on a really weird way and jumped
Yeah.
ahead from his entry test. So that might be why he
I don't
got
know.
bumped.
I don't know, but it was because we see her go into the tower and he's freaking out, and then he's dragged into the tower.
Yeah.
And then like I don't know if there's some weird time nonsense going on or what. Because
Time shenanigans.
I don't know, like even though he
Who
entered first,
knows?
even though he entered last, somehow he arrived first.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Or he entered a little bit later, but because he's special, he got pushed ahead.
I don't know. It could be. There's a number of things. Then there's a test of hey, you got to pick a door. The whole test is you just got to pick a door. It doesn't matter.
Just got to pick
pick
a
one.
door.
Yes, you can pick within 5 minutes, and of course they tell you it's 10, but it's actually 5. It's like tricky. And as was right now, that's basically a King of the Hill test. One person wears King of the Hill / VIP game. That's my thing. My other thing is like, this is feeling like it's taking a lot from video games. Like,
Yep, we had the PUBG section, and then we have. Yep.
Oh yeah, because one person has to sit in the throne with a crown, and the other 2 have to defend, and there's waves of the other teams and whatnot. So,
The interesting one is that was how they introduced that test is optional.
No, that one
It will help you if you pass it, but you don't have to. It's a bonus test. So, and that happened
Bonus
right
round.
after. It happened after the discussion between the 2 rankers.
Yeah.
After the next group jumped ahead because
there's some.
One of the other rankers screwed up the testing procedure.
There's a lot of weirdness going on behind the scenes, that's for sure.
So yeah, they're building some of that. There's tension in the administration.
I wonder if that can be exploited.
Mm.
Anyway, yeah, stuff's going on. It's kind of interesting, the lore stuff. Characters are some stuff about them is interesting, but like there is, as you said, some misgivings about some stuff. Yeah, it's pretty good looking. It's good looking. There's some pretty good music throughout. There's some definitely interesting stuff. I'm very intrigued.
Yes,
I'm how it's going to go.
Since it does hit my thing of world building, I'm definitely interested. That part really interests me.
Apparently, you can just straight up read the entire thing online. I don't know.
Oh, huh.
Been around for a while.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it looks really. It's so far. I'm definitely want to keep checking it out. I'm just. Yeah, you said that thing about he might get a little overpowered. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's going to be a thing or not, but
I don't know if it is.
I'm also hoping it doesn't become a little repetitive. It could. It's potential of it becoming repetitive or something. It's just
same basic test over and over again. Oh, defeat the big bad.
Yep, or something. I don't know.
I am curious. There is one thing. Like, they're in a team of 3.
Yes.
I don't think that's going to stay. I don't think it can stay. I'm assuming that one of the tests will be, now you got to fight your teammates.
Of course.
Because only one can make it to the top.
Of course.
There can be only one.
Yep. Because, of course, that's how it works.
Eventually, yours is going to show up again.
Of these 4, which would you think is the best one?
It's a tough one to say which one's the best because they are different.
Okay, which ones got you the most interested?
Most interested is probably somewhere between Diary and Tower.
Right.
Diary, it's just really nice and relaxing. So it hits those buttons. Like you said, I'm hoping that one doesn't get boring. If it's just the same thing over and over again. If it isn't, then that's going to be an amazing show. If it does keep things interesting enough, that one I think is going to be great. Tower of God has got the world building that I really like.
Right.
More than the rest of them. So that one I'm kind of looking at in that aspect, but I'm a little worried on how they handle the characters.
Right.
So it's tough to say. I think those two are probably the most. But Appare-Ranman and Wave Listen to Me aren't like, I'm not interested in those either.
Right. Yeah, if the ones for me, I think Wave and Tower of God are the two that'd be the most interested of the four. I think Wave is just kind of that. For me, it's just different enough new. That I'm like really liking it. And I really like those characters a lot. I'm liking how they're established and whatnot. And Tower of God does have the whole I want to know what's going on here, for sure. I definitely want to see the show dig into what's going on. I want answers. I want answers now.
Out of these four, that one has it more than any of the others.
Mm-hmm.
If you want world building and like the idea of potential in lore and what's going on, Tower of God at the moment.
Yeah. Definitely all four very interesting anime.
Yes.
For sure.
I don't think we have any real duds this time.
This time, yeah. Although apparently there's another one apparently called just Straight Up Listeners, and apparently that's really good. That's this season.
Interesting.
I'm not sure what that one's about, but that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing people say watch it, so okay. Maybe I will.
Yeah, we'll have to check out other ones as well.
Almost everything has been both volume, I believe, at this point. So this is the perfect time to catch up on the old stuff you've been kind of skipping. Hooray!
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, you're stuck at home anyway. Might as well.
Yeah. Some of us are. Most of us are.
Yeah. So I think that's it for this episode, though. Maybe you'll check those out. Maybe you won't. I don't know. I hope you liked this episode of New to Weeaboo, and if you did, you could check us out at newtoweeaboo.libsyn.com. It's spelled Libsyn. You want to see new and old episodes as we go along. You can also find us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and YouTube. And on any of those, search for New to Weeaboo and find us there, and you subscribe and all that stuff. With Google Play, though, you have to go to play.google.com/music, or else it does not work.
Thanks, Google.
Yeah. So, yeah, you can search for us and subscribe for any of those. You can subscribe to the RSS feed on the Libsyn site as well, and listen to us as new episodes come out, and also listen to old episodes if you want, because, since we tend to focus on older stuff, it's not like, it's time limited. It's not like this is completely irrelevant now because it's a year out of date or something.
Yeah.
Hooray. Yeah, if you also want to contact us, you can do so via email, newtoweeaboo@gmail.com. If you want questions, comments, criticisms, did you watch any of these? What are you thinking of them so far? If any of them, is there any other stuff you want to recommend for us to check out, either new this season or older anime, whatever. There's a bunch of stuff out there. I mean, we'll happily take suggestions, unless, of course, it's something ick.
Yeah, like ecchi or something.
Yeah, ecchi or hentai. No.
Yeah.
Nope. Yeah, it's basically, I think if on one of these streaming services, I'll at least check it out. May or may not tell him to check it out too. Yeah, that's one way to check contact us. You can also follow us on Twitter or @newtoweeaboo if you want to follow us there. Retweet, like those things. Talk to us, whatever. Say hi. We'll say things, whatever.
We'll say things, just things.
Yeah, things.
Things.
Exactly. Yeah. And you can also follow personal Twitter accounts. I'm at Nemesis Prime 1 and he's at Alcatraz with a 77T and an underscore at the end. And whatnot. I don't have to think about tweeting that much lately. I think still
sure
Transformers. Yeah. Retweeted the New to Weeaboo account. So that's a thing. So that's it. Join us in a couple weeks. We will be talking about the final season of Sailor Moon, Sailor Stars.
Stars.
Finally getting to the end of that.
The end of that. No more Sailor Moon?
No more Sailor Moons. Yep. One final push. So, hope you enjoyed. I hope you tune in next time. And until then, though, see ya.
See ya.